welcome to an exciting episode of the Shrouded Realities podcast. Today we're going to dig into the follow-up to Ruby Ridge, a little event that happened a few months after, involving the same parties, same outcome, a lot more deadly results. But
well, was it? Because people died in both.
Yeah, but less people in Ruby Ridge by probably like a ton.
Yeah, still an over exertion of the government.
Yep. We're gonna do something a little different in this one. We like to talk about cults. So first we're gonna hit who are the Branch Davidians, where they came from, how they got to where they are, and how they got to be crazy enough to burn themselves alive in a burning building.
Yeah, I learned a bunch of stuff about it this week. I didn't know. I mean, you know about the Branch Davidians, and you just hear about it over time, but I didn't realize kind of how they came into being, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Waco event kind of overshadows all of it, but
Waco,
Waco, Texas. You're being offensive to all Wacodians.
What?
Wacky.
Wacodians. Those are people that live in Waco.
Wacodia forever. Wacodia forever.
If you're from Waco,
the Scrody live in Wacody?
El Scrody.
He's
making a comeback.
Not a sack.
Scrote.
The Scrote McDote live in Waco.
Something about cult episodes. We ended up talking about scrotums. I don't know what to do with this.
Don't worry, we'll get our poop joke out there sometime.
Yeah, it's coming.
This episode.
It's coming. What about the digs first? Let's tell them. You
got to reference the digs.
We got any table? This thing's beast mode. It's beautiful.
I think Joe Rogan would be jealous of this thing right
this
here.
This is 90% of our budget right here.
Yes,
on a table.
Luckily, you're talking about 90%. This is 120% of our budget.
We are in debt.
Yes. Luckily, we didn't have to buy the table.
Yep,
it was
I'm just making it funny.
Part of the studio upgrade.
We know a guy. You know,
sometimes
it's better than having money is knowing somebody.
That's
what they all say.
Super true.
That's right.
Super true.
Sometimes it's better to know somebody.
Yep.
I won't know because I don't know.
And also, I want to wait until like halftime when Steven does a sticker pitch, but check out the stickers. We got extras. We got more stickers.
We got new stickers.
Joey, I'm a point. You're going to put the sticker where I put point. You're going to put the new one there, a new one over here, and then bingo.
This makes it really hard for editing.
Hey, and you know what else? People that are just listening to this, they're not going to see that we're just pointing erratically everywhere.
You hear our fingers wafting.
Yeah.
About like when you tried to use the soundboard the other day, and we were like, "Hey, this is funny," beep, like making noises, but we couldn't hear it on the edit.
Yeah, there's never made it through.
That's why you got to watch the video, man. Get the full experience.
That's right. If you're not watching,
So if you're on Spotify, you're on Apple, even Spotify. We got video on Spotify.
Yeah.
So
Apple, whatever.
Yeah, Apple and some of the other ones.
They'll get with the times one of these days.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
So where do we start? Where is the birthing ground?
Did you know? I'm gonna throw some facts at you. Did you know the Branch Davidians are a splinter group, not an offshoot, but a splinter group of the Seventh-day Adventist?
Yes, I knew that after researching this.
I didn't know that until we researched it this week.
An offshoot.
Yeah,
not offshoot, a splinter.
What's the difference?
Excuse me.
The offshoot is like in agreement with. A splinter is like, I'm mad at you. And they splinter off.
Oh, okay.
So there was a dissent in the...
They branch off, is what you're saying?
A branch off from the branch. I think that's where that comes from a little bit. No, okay.
No, it's not that.
Maybe not.
We've already had discussions about the Seventh-day Adventists,
we did.
They're a little bit kooky, would be the word.
I think it's important to give kind of that base foundation. So I got some Seventh-day Adventist differences, I guess.
Between them and the
rest of
and
Christianity.
Oh, well, that should be a pretty long list.
Yeah. So this is Seventh-day Adventist, not Branch Davidian. Seventh-day Adventist Helen G. White. We referenced her in a food episode, I believe.
She was a nice lady.
Yep. She's they believe she was a prophetess.
Red meat's bad.
Here's some interesting pieces. They believe in soul sleep. So when you die, you don't go anywhere. You just hang out and wherever.
Your soul maintains in your body in the ground.
Guess I don't know.
That sucks.
Annihilationism, big word.
That?
Annihilationism is a Christian belief that the wicked will be destroyed after the last judgment, rather than suffering an eternal torment in hell. So it means they believe
when you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah, they believe the people that are destined to hell go to hell, and the hell is a place where their soul burns up. Didn't know that. So
Okay. I don't know that I followed that completely, but sure.
Yep. Keep the Sabbath on Saturday. That's kind of the obvious one, hence the name.
It's definitely a big deal. You got to do that.
As Stephen aforementioned, they are generally very health conscious and don't eat meat.
Well, health conscious is a stretch to me. I don't think that that's the way I would put that. They just want to make sure that you don't get too much testosterone in your body.
That's right.
So you're saying it's not good for your health to eat Kellogg's every day?
Maybe.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
It's don't eat Kellogg's every day.
Maybe you shouldn't be pushing soy into your body and just upping them estrogen levels.
High fructose corn syrup everywhere.
Yeah.
And then
I wish that we could sit and say some of the things that we said in a text message back and forth about Kellogg's and eating meat.
Dude, we can't go there. My mom's listening. We talk about that.
we had a discussion.
Yeah, we had a discussion. She was upset.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mrs. Craig.
Thank you. Arminianism is something. Arminianism.
Yep, there it is. Say it confident.
It's pretty much like a free will movement, so it's like the opposite of Calvinism. So we're not going to go there today. But
we were destined to.
Yeah. It's almost like we were predestined to have that conversation.
Yeah. So they're kind of so 7-Day Adventist opposite of Calvinism, soul sleep. What else? Annihilationism. They're hell souls just get burn up. They disappear.
And they also don't they believe that they are the church?
Yeah.
Like in the last days, like they are the main church.
I think so.
Most churches kind of believe that.
Yeah,
like,
but is that what they're harping?
Weird, like splinters, as Joey would say, off of Christianity, like the mainstream Christianity. I mean, most of them believe, they're part of the last church, and they're gonna 144,000 are gonna go to heaven or be. Yeah, it's just a whole thing.
Yep, gotcha.
Are we recording? I don't see the countdown.
What do you mean you don't see the countdown?
Oh, it's on your computer. Sorry.
Yeah. What?
He's worried.
What are you talking
We've
about?
only done this 40-something episodes.
We're close. We're at like 37 or something.
He had a boomer moment.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's here.
I was looking here. I thought it was on that thingy.
Yeah, it's never been there.
This newfangled technology is scaring me.
How the Seventh-day Adventists feel?
Yeah.
Are they in technology? Are they that type?
No, they're actually more into technology to help with foods and things like that.
Gotcha.
They're covered up in the medical field. Seventh-day Advent is.
Gotcha.
Eating that tofu.
Big time.
Yeah. So do you got a lot of notes on the Branch Davidians, how they splintered off?
So, yeah. I'm trying to remember what that guy's name was. It was
got it right here.
He was the Shepherd's Rod.
Yep. Victor T. Hutef established the Davidians in 1929.
Well, he was the first offshoot or the first splinter, and he actually started the Shepherd's Rod in 1929,
That's
I believe.
What she said.
Oh,
yep.
1929, he started that. And his whole thing is the world is going to end. The apocalypse is coming in 1959. Going to happen. Got everybody, ready for it. We're the church that's going to be taken up. That's how it's going to go. Guess what? 1959 came and went. And,
Didn't happen.
On this note,
on
this note of the prediction thing, that's how the Seventh-day Adventists came along.
Yeah, exactly.
The group before that made a prediction that Jesus was going to come, and then it didn't happen. And they're like, oh no, we got to change the name.
But we've got it right.
We've
got it right, though.
Yep.
So then there was an offshoot of Shepherd's Rod, which was the Branch Davidians from Benjamin Roden.
Ben Roden.
He started the Branch Davidians, and I believe it was to bring back the Davidic kingdom of Israel was his.
Yes.
Still, the world's going to end. I don't know that he was given dates and all this kind of stuff like Mr. Hutef was.
Yeah.
But he is the founder of the Branch Davidians.
Yep. I was trying to find his wife's name, but didn't she have
Lois.
a fun little story with our old boy Vernon?
So we need to really get into Vernon a little bit before we just go straight into Branch Davidians. Vernon's life. This dude was.
Aren't we setting the table before Vernon? So let's.
Are we setting
Do we
the
got?
table
Yeah,
before Vernon?
there's a little bit more to get to before he jumps in.
Okay, I got you. So yeah, if we're gonna go there, then
I know you're excited to
Lois.
talk about what Vernon did with Lois.
Well, that's where I thought you were going. So
Yeah.
that's why I
Lois.
was.
I was just pre foreshadowing.
Can't say that.
Can't say that.
Where are you trying to go?
I don't know.
You've lost me.
You jumped like 50 years in history right there.
No, I didn't.
No, you went from like 29 to 80 something. Let's see.
I don't think there was much going on there.
Started in.
Well, it was.
I
they were
jumped
doing
to
cult
59.
stuff and
Yeah, a little culty, the usual Seventh-day Adventist
Guys,
stuff.
Look, everybody looking at this, we know what the crap we're doing. Quit questioning us. We know what we're doing on our own show.
This is just a test to make
This
sure
is
you're
a
still
test
here.
to make sure everybody's paying attention.
Like what?
I say, what?
Y'all want to know what the timeline is? So do we. We don't know what's going on.
That's right.
Just going by what the internet tells us.
Yeah.
Lois, that's right.
Lois Roden.
So Lois picked up the reins when Ben died.
She did.
In 78. Ben died in 78. She took leadership.
Of the compound.
Yep.
Mount Carmel.
One of her distinct her beliefs, and I think this comes from 7-day Adventism. Is that the right word?
Ism.
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 Put an ism
7-day
at the
Adventism.
You can put ism at the end of anything
Yep.
and it works.
Okay. Was that the Holy Spirit is a real person? I think they believe that.
Is that not
And
does that not conflict itself in the name of the Holy Spirit?
I mean, yeah, I
Because
guess.
it's a
Depends on how-
spirit, correct?
But they think that the
But
Holy
it's
Spirit
like
is
but it's a flesh being?
it's a person. Yeah, it's like a person. Like
Would it not be called the Holy Person at
like
that
God
point?
the Father, God the Son? We kind of see them as people. The Holy Spirit is also a people.
All right. So
People-shaped.
are we getting in on a technicality here? Because
I'm just telling you what old Lois was preaching.
But Lois was saying he was a flesh being.
That's what they said.
That doesn't work.
Yep.
And she also said
Spirit.
that God was a woman or something like that.
Yeah, but she does. Yeah, that's what I say. Their distinctive teaching centered on the female character of the Holy Spirit and ordinance. Golly, I think I could talk if I was on a podcast. Ordination of women.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. So she believed that women could teach and preach. Obviously,
Okay.
because she's a woman and leading a cult.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be the person leading a cult, you're coming off of Seventh-day Advent with
Yep.
what's her chick? What's her face?
White.
Meat eater.
White. What did I just say? Ellen
Betty
White.
White.
Ellen
Oh.
White. Betty White. Ellen White.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, so yeah, you're coming off of Seventh-day Advent. Ellen White started Seventh-day Adventism,
Mhm.
and then we're moving. Benjamin Roden starts Branch Davidians. He dies.
Yep.
Lois naturally.
Lois takes over.
Mhm.
Then was she the one that old Vernon moved in on? Tried to
So yeah, I mean,
play hide the sausage.
2 years after 2 years after her husband's death, in walks in old Vernon Howard.
With that flowing hair and them
Daggum.
Dahmer glasses.
Charismatic. This dude come in, the most spiritual guy they've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he moved in on Lois. And he said,
Moved
Lois,
in.
let me tell you, I want to be with you. I want to know what that's about. Is what he said.
And even though she's in her 60s, thought that she would bore his love child that would later become the Messiah.
Well, he was in his 20s. So, I mean, there's only a 40-year gap. So it's really only weird if you think about it.
I mean,
If
that
you
diet
I
she was
don't
on.
want to think about
if
it.
you think about it, it's a little off.
That diet she was on made her real fertile.
Stop.
That's right. I mean, when all the estrogen levels were up,
Way up.
And-
Peaking.
Think she was hot for a 60-something-year-old?
I mean, maybe. I definitely don't think that there was any ulterior motives behind what he was doing.
It's kind of like the old lady that owns like 1,000 acres. And you're like, you got to take
Yeah.
one for the team.
Got to take one for the team. It's
That
like,
could have been it. Like, I just wanted to.
well, I mean, you get
You
the
know.
compound, you get the beauty of a 60-year-old.
I ain't saying he's a
into
gold
inner
digger.
beauty.
A warm bed. You know, she probably treats you like your grandmother would.
I bet she tucked them sheets tight.
Oh, you know she did.
Didn't Garth Brooks write a song about this?
Yeah. Which one was it?
Da, da.
No. No.
Thunder Rolls?
No.
That is Thunder Rolls.
Something about the hands of leather. And,
I think
Thunder Rolls.
That's Thunder Rolls,
no,
man.
Thunder Rolls is when he cheated on his wife was cheating on him.
No.
I know my Garth Brooks.
Connor,
here.
we probably shouldn't argue Garth Brooks with
Yeah,
Joe.
I know
He's
my
gonna know
90s
Garth
country.
Brooks.
I know my 90s country. I just don't know the name of that song.
Well, for someone
Something
sounding so
about-
sure, you're very unsure.
No, I'll tell you, I'm going to find it.
I'm as confident as you could be.
Hey, this man wrote a lot of songs. I can't even find it.
What about the fact that dude's a serial
There we
killer?
go. Let's search Garth Brooks song. You talking about
No, Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks is a serial killer.
You've not seen all the people that's popped up missing at all of like around his tour dates?
His emo character.
Yeah, old Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines slain.
The Summer.
The Summer?
The Summer.
What a weak
I
name.
Google search
God.
Garth Brooks song about an old woman.
Thunder Rolls is a classic.
Yeah.
The
That
Summer,
is.
that sounds like garbage. I don't like that.
It's a bad song name.
You
but-
sure Garth Brooks isn't Vernon Howe?
Dude, it could be it. Maybe he didn't die in Waco. He was,
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to
Reincarnated
world
as Garth
country.
Brooks.
Real question. Have you ever seen Garth Brooks and Vernon Howard in the same room together? I haven't.
Case closed.
Case closed.
You heard it
Solved
first on Shrouded Realities.
I'm just telling you, I've
Garth
never seen
Brooks
those two in the same room.
is Vernon Howell, a.k.a. David Koresh.
Yes. That's
So
how that happened.
let me drop this in the conversation. How many splinter groups do you get? Like, how many could you take before like the original group is like no more?
According to the Mormons, you can do as many as you want.
Like, just keep going, splittering off
You
into.
just keep going crazy.
Because like the Branch Davidians, they went into didn't they split up to another like group called like the Davidian Branch Davidians?
I think they're still. I think
Like
they're
it just
still
keeps
active.
going.
I
Just
think they're
third
still
rock from
active,
the
even
sun
though they all burn up and they're.
So I actually took a trip to Waco, not for this, but we were in Waco, and I'm like, well, I've got to go see it. Got to
You
go
went-
see
you seen
where
it?
it is. So they're closed on Sundays, which
Oh.
is or
Ironic.
Mondays. Maybe it was Mondays.
super ironic.
Yeah, you should be closed on Saturdays if you're, following the Sabbath
Yep.
according to them. But they're closed on. It was either Sunday or Monday. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But we did stand outside the compound. Did get to see some of it just from the road, and that place is off in the middle of nowhere. You got to drive about 45 minutes into the middle of nowhere, and then you find it.
Okay.
So it's
So they were out
and
there.
it's down a country back road that's just got a little bit of gravel and some tar spilled on it. I mean,
Okay.
it's in the middle of nowhere.
All right. So, funny part, talking about Vernon and no Lois going at it. So George Roden at one point was also the leader of the Branch Davidians. George was the son of Lois and Ben. So I wonder if George had problems with David coming in and
No, he
humping
did.
his mom.
He had some. He
Get
I
off
would
my
say-
mom!
I would say that he probably saw Vernon as what he was doing. I think he saw him as like, look, dude, I know what you're doing. You're
Quit being
trying to
creep.
get it. Yeah, you're trying to get all up in my mom here,
so that you can
and
have a cult.
so you can have this cult.
Yep.
And Vernon had a following because
Yeah.
Lois was giving him the pulpit. He was teaching. He was,
Mhm.
giving him leadership roles because she was smitten with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure if I was George, I'd be like, nah, what are you doing?
Easy.
Chill out.
Ma!
So
Mom.
it got so heated that in 1985 it led to a gunfight.
But
Oh.
they ran him.
Yep.
They ran Vernon.
Oh, I'm sorry,
and-
1987. There was a gunfight.
No, that one, you're jumping ahead a little bit because they ran them out in 85, I
Yeah, that's right.
believe.
Yep,
They
you're
ran
right.
out him, Vernon,
Vernon and his crew left.
25 followers.
They left.
They left, went to Palestine, Texas.
Yep.
Which was probably about 90 miles, I think, from what I've seen, away from where it was.
Okay. Everything's far away from each other in Texas.
Texas is, it's a whole
Huge.
other country.
Yeah.
But during that time, it was about a 2-year span of time that they were in Palestine and he was still bringing followers in from the Branch Davidians
Oh,
into Palestine.
he's
He
snagging
was
the
that. He
peeps.
was that.
Dude, this guy was obviously super charismatic. You go into his early life, kind of when he was a kid.
You want to do there? Yeah, let's go back there.
I don't know what we're doing.
Go there.
here.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're there. We're there. All right. Go
All
ahead.
right. I don't know why we didn't start there. Anyway, he as a kid had a rough upbringing. His mom had him at 14. His dad was 20, and his dad kind of run off before he was born, so he never knew his dad.
Yep.
His mom married an alcoholic right after that, which, I mean, a 14-year-old, probably not making the best decisions in the world.
Mm-mm.
But 14, married an alcoholic who abused the crap out of him. Vernon then goes and lives with his grandmother till about age 6. And his grandmother was the religious one of the group.
Okay.
So she was the one taking him to Seventh-day Advent churches.
Oh, okay. That's where it started.
He was really into reading scripture. That was his thing.
Yeah.
He was reciting scripture by age 10, which is, I mean, long passages of scripture he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I want to say he moved back in with his mom at 6, and he was in special needs, had issues with learning and stuff like that. He was dyslexic, which is not something they really picked up on when, in what was that, 60s? In the 60s, dyslexia was not like a seen thing, so you're just...
So he got put in special ed classes.
Yeah, he was put in a special ed class.
Even though he was technically smart, he just couldn't...
He was really intelligent, but dyslexia, you're getting things confused. You're mixing words up and,
Didn't he have speech impediment too?
He had a bad stutter. One of the things, I've got a quote from him. The name they called him was pretty bad. The kids in school had a really bad name for him.
Don't laugh, Connor.
Don't you laugh.
I'm holding it.
And this is definitely the most school-aged nickname you could ever have.
This is where we live.
Yes. It's Mr. Retardo.
Stop laughing.
Called him. Yes. So he was in special needs classes.
God, I told him back so bad.
And this is so his quote sounds kind of like from a dyslexic kid. It says, I mean, here come the retarding kids. And it's like I stopped in my tracks.
So this was him saying what the...
That was him saying like how he perceived the bullying when he was a kid. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, he had...
So they thought he was a retard. He thought they were the retards.
No, this quote really is hard to understand.
Maybe this, yeah, it's definitely...
It kind of seems like this was said from a dyslexic kid with a stutter a little bit. But
I mean, here comes them. Okay.
Stop.
So, I mean, but he was a smart kid.
Right.
The thing that really, I think, he figured out, and this is something I talked to Joey about a little bit yesterday, and I'm starting to see a pattern through our other cult episodes, is most of these kids have a very religious upbringing of some kind. You look at...
That was also rough.
That was rough.
Yeah.
So you've got rough and then religion thrown on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's not a good mix. What was old... what's the dude's name? It just left me.
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. I mean, he was doing funerals for cats.
Yeah.
Like wearing a suit, doing weird stuff like
Adam
that.
Families.
But I think it warps your understanding maybe a little bit of the Bible.
It's like every word is literal.
And when you're coming from that bent of just having that rough life and that rough upbringing, you're not absorbing it the way it should be absorbed. And he would listen to radio sermons and recite them. And he found that he could change the inflection of his voice and do certain things, and his stutter would go away.
Yep.
So I think that was a confidence for him immediately that he gained early in life, was like, oh, I can get rid of that kind of, and I can do it through these religious things.
Well,
and that brought him to where he is.
Let me ask you a question. We kind of touched on it when we were talking about it yesterday. If you watch the movie, have you seen the movie Nefarious?
No.
You've got to watch that.
Good movie. You got to watch it. But in the movie Nefarious, the main character is a demon-possessed person, and he kind of lays out how demon possession comes about. Now, again, this is a movie. Take it for what you will, but I think they drew from biblical text to get get this information. But the demons like to jump into people like that are having the hard life, that are looking for salvation, they're looking for a way out, and it's just like an easy mode for somebody to jump into. Do you think that might have been the possibility there? Like he, like all of this, him getting charismatic and doing his thing and getting these gifts and learning how to control masses, do you think that might have been demonic led?
Maybe if he was looking at it microscopically, he's not able to take a step back, maybe, and see the greater plan of things. He's just so narrow focused.
Yeah.
That he's just letting letting more influence him than he thinks, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes it hard for him to discern between what's real and true and good and what could be false teachings, false doctrines that's going to lead them down a path of destruction. Something
else that I've noticed too is they tend to focus on a certain section of the Bible when they are going for these cult type things. Yeah. There is the end of the world. Revelations is
apocalyptic.
Everything's apocalyptic. Everything's the end of the world. Everything is driving you to that point. So he definitely was filled with that for sure. And people tend to listen when you tell them like, "Hey, the world's about to end. You follow me, and we'll
crazy things
out of the Revelations." You scare people up front, and then you can bring them in and say, "But I've got the answer."
Yeah.
And I think that that's a lot of what he did and how he used it.
Mm-hmm.
But back on his life a little bit, he in his junior year in high school, he dropped out and became a carpenter, which I underlined that in my notes. I thought that was very interesting coming from
interesting
his
choice of career
So
path.
he was 18 years old, took a job as a carpenter, and he was in a relationship with a 15-year-old girl who got pregnant.
Can you say the significance of the carpenter job?
Well, I mean, Jesus was a carpenter.
Okay, just wanted to.
So that to me, just these little pieces and little nuggets, I think
kinda adds to his story.
Everything kind of builds to where the end of this conversation goes to me. But dating a 15-year-old girl, 18 years old, it's not crazy.
This is in the 80s.
It's not a big.
Yeah,
no,
you're still in the 70s at this point.
70s.
So he's
late 70s.
It's illegal, but it's not like crazy age gap.
Yeah, my grandma told me when she was in high school, like the teachers were fair game.
The teachers were
fair game. So this is that was probably in the 50s or 60s.
Didn't the police write a song about that?
Probably.
I think
Don't stand so close to me.
Yeah, something like that. But this 15-year-old girl ends up pregnant. She ends up pregnant. Her dad is, of course, infuriated by this.
Yeah.
And says, no more. You're not seeing this dude anymore. And runs him off. Well, Vernon, who is in love with this woman, he fathers. Yes, that's actually the way to put that.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I downplayed the significance of what that was. But he then goes to his Seventh-day Advent elders and says, "This isn't right. I'm going to take a moral stand here. I'm supposed to marry this woman."
And he backed it up with scripture, too.
And he was throwing scripture at him and all this. Well, the elders like, "Hey, chill out.
Yep.
Maybe you shouldn't have done it to begin with and you wouldn't be in this position."
Yeah.
He gets mad. Vernon just gets mad and they throw him out. Throw him completely out of the church.
That's where his splinter came.
So, he's out. He and his family. They didn't just kick Vernon out. His entire family. So
this had to have been a sicko in your family.
This was a scene right here.
They got yeeted from the church.
So, completely out. So, he's in the looking for the Branch Davidians that he ends up with. He's looking for somewhere else to go that's going to give him the answers that he wants. So, he ends up in the Branch Davidians in Waco. So that, to me, brings me to the point that we're in right now.
Yep. Back to it. So he gets in the church, gets kicked out because he gets hitting on the old Mama. What was her name?
Mama
Lois.
Mama Lois.
Oh, Lois.
They get kicked out, like Steven said. They come back a couple of years later and get in a gunfight. They walk in with guns. I found a list.
Do you know how they ended up in a gunfight?
I guess they
shot at each other.
No. Do you know what led up to the gunfight?
No.
From what I understood, they just walked in and tried to take siege of the church.
No, you are missing a very a big part of that story.
Fill us in.
So George was pissed.
Bet.
George Roden was mad.
Get off my mom.
No, this was before that,
okay.
Or after that, significantly after that. They had Vernon had been taking a bunch of the followers at the compound to Palestine and bringing them in. And George was like, no, these are my people. This is my congregation. Quit doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And he challenged him to a resurrection competition.
Was this Gravedigger? What's going on here?
So then, I don't know if Vernon was like, "Yep, I'm doing it. We're in on this." I don't know if that's how that worked or not. But George went and had his followers pull a body out of the ground. Two bodies out of the ground.
20-year-old dead bodies.
Yeah,
they've been in the ground for 20 years.
How you gonna resurrect that? Just because you pulled it out of the ground, how you gonna make that
come up look like
Skeletor? How you gonna animate it? You
look like Skeletor.
Yeah,
over here. I got no strings to hold me down. Just over here pulling them.
Doing NSYNC over here.
Yeah, but Vernon finds out about it, calls the cops, says, "Hey, he's bringing grave robbing over here."
That's got him in trouble.
They said, without picture evidence, we can't do anything about it. Yeah. So Vernon sends 7 of his people to the compound, lets them in. I guess he's still got a key.
They were looking for evidence.
Yeah. They are well armed.
Armed to the teeth.
They get caught before they could find any evidence of an exhumed body.
Yeah.
And there's a gunfight at that point.
That's some good old American culture right
there.
there.
Who lives this life?
How has anybody not wrote a movie about this yet? This would make a great
This is perfect stuff.
I mean, it had to be on the Sci-Fi Channel because it's too crazy to believe.
It doesn't seem like real life at all.
No,
that's the problem. Is it doesn't seem like.
Hey, get out of that
room! I'm just in here looking for dead bodies. Leave me alone.
George Roden he was actually injured in that.
Yep.
Vernon and his followers were arrested.
Yep.
But
everybody got off.
How?
Everybody.
If I'm speeding too fast and don't pay my ticket, I'm going to prison.
Yeah.
That's just how it would work
but
for me.
Me and the boys got machine guns.
Me and the boys are out shooting each other.
From what I've seen, George's actually went to trial, but it was a hung jury, so he got exonerated because they couldn't find him guilty.
Wow.
The 80s were a good time.
Jeez, Waco time.
Crazy time. I just love that. I don't know that there's ever been another time in history that somebody has challenged someone to a resurrection competition.
Yeah. I'll raise this body before you.
If I do it first.
What is it, Yu-Gi-Oh?
I activate my trap card.
I don't know.
My special guard.
So when when they went to jail, is that when he kind of took over?
No. So after this, and I want to say this was in 87 as well, George had another person in his congregation claim to be the Messiah. And I think that George at this point just had lost it. It was like, I've been through all of it. And he lost it.
He started losing his followers.
Then you got another guy trying to rise up and take leadership, and you're already dealing with Vernon who's taking your people. Well, he takes an axe and he kills this guy.
No, he didn't.
George does, and kills him with an axe. He still didn't go to jail. He did go to a mental hospital after that. And I think he lived the rest of his life in a mental hospital. Then in comes Vernon to take his rightful seat as leader of the Waco compound.
Let's take a break, and then after we'll talk about the name change, where that came from, and
kind of where he spiraled down to, and then I think we could stop there and wait for next episode.
Yeah, we'll end it. We'll set the groundwork for who old Vernon becomes and who he is and how his downfall comes to, and then we'll next episode will be talk about how the government really screwed that up.
Yeah, you would think that they would learn just a couple of months off, but they did not.
Yeah,
anyway.
They should stick to a plan.
Right.
By the way,
speaking of a plan.
Sticking to a plan. He said sticking. Steven, tell us what we got.
Y'all see on this table right now? You see all these?
Bunches of them.
If this was all money, we would be rich.
Yeah, but we're not.
And
those equate to dollar bills that we have already spent.
Those equate to money that we've actually spent to give to others, or for others to give to us. But anyway, when we received this plethora of new sticky backed pictures, they sent us instructions, and I wanted to share these instructions with everyone. Your reaction when you receive your stickers. If it is this.
Excitement.
Good.
That's a good
That's
one.
an excited face.
What's
if you're
a bad
listening, you cross your arms Let me tell you which one you're not going to be when you open your pack of stickers.
No.
You're not going to be this sad face over here.
No, you're not.
You're going to be so pumped up
You're gonna be
to
excited.
have mine, Connor's, and Joey's face on your laptop or your whatever you want to put it in.
Yeah.
Instruction 2, handling of stickers. You can stick them on things and you take pictures of it. That's what you should be doing.
Not taking a selfie without the sticker.
And one thing that a sticker does do, and this is something that we don't talk about enough, is it combats being selfish.
Yep.
If you have a sticker, you automatically care more for others. Most people didn't know that. Most people don't know that, but that is a true statement.
That is true.
Your placement of stickers. Where can you put them?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any ideas?
A laptop. You put them
you
right
can
here.
put them there.
They got here.
If you've got a hard hat, put it
right
on your
here.
hard hat.
Yep.
You can put it on.
There.
Yeah, you can put it on walls.
Can I point out you don't have a single sticker on your computer?
I don't.
Find
And
it super ironic.
the reason that I wouldn't do something like that is because I like being selfish and I like being a dirty person. But other people, I know that they really do. They care about things like that. To apply a sticker, you just literally take the back off of it
Mhm.
and you stick it on things.
How do you not apply a sticker?
If you're going down the road about 50 miles an hour,
Uh-huh.
you don't want to be trying to put a sticker on at that point.
Not on a car, you don't know.
Unless you
No.
want to say like, "Hey, I put that sticker on, going 50 miles
That would be
an
pretty-
hour down the
that would be
road."
pretty hippie.
We don't say that you should do that.
No.
We would actually strongly say no to
Yep.
that. But if you want to, it's a free country. You
Yep.
can do whatever you want. It's a freer country today than it was a couple of weeks ago.
It is.
So if you want to do it, go for it. It's your consequences.
I
at that point.
actually fear less being hunted down by the FBI now than I did a few months ago.
I know. That's why I'm going to start putting these stickers on like gas pumps and other people's
Don't do that.
property.
That's against the law.
I'm going to put it on other people's property.
You just said that you're going to commit a crime.
I didn't say
Get him!
Get it, boys.
I'm undercover this whole time.
They've been waiting on somebody to say,
That's it. I'm calling them poison.
yeah, they're gone. We also have a Patreon.
We're starting to get a little traction on
Getting some
Patreon.
people coming in, they know. These people
Check it out.
know.
Yep.
You can even sign
The
up for
real ones
Patreon
know.
for free to get you a little trial. You're not
You
going.
can.
You're not going to get all the good stuff.
Sign up for the free
Yep.
for the free trial of it.
Yep.
Put your credit card information in and forget about it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm hoping.
you guys already have like 12 different subscriptions. Just add another one.
Yeah. What's another one? What's $2 a month? You'll never even realize
Hook
that.
your boys
You
up.
can't even get a coffee for that much.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
you're spending money on Disney Plus. And
And if-
what's the last good thing that came out on that?
Yeah, and if you're as broke as we are, you can do none of that, and you can just go like and subscribe all our stuff.
Yeah.
So
Easy.
we've got a goal for this year.
Yes, thank you for the goal. I
And-
always forget about
And
talking about
me
the goal.
and me and Joe have discussed this goal numerous times and said we were going to discuss it on our little segment here,
And we
and
always
we
forget
never do.
because we're idiots.
So we're really close on YouTube to 100 subscribers.
Yep.
And to most people, you're going to go like, "Oh, it's 100 subscribers. That
It's
ain't nothing." To us, that's a big deal.
Huge.
That's a huge deal for us.
It's huge.
That 100 people cared enough to literally click something one time.
Yep.
So
So hook your
Which
boys
is like
up.
the most, like the least, like
Yeah.
physically
what we're-
demanding thing there is.
Yeah,
if
it's
you don't
easy.
if you don't buy a sticker, if you don't buy a shirt, which are on sale by the way,
the
and
shirts or the
everybody
stickers, just the shirts.
just the shirts. I mean, we had to spend money on stickers
Yeah,
recently, but shirts on sale.
we are going to change up the stickers instead of just getting a
Yeah.
pack of 5 stickers of the same sticker. We're going to put a sticker pack together so you
Yeah.
can get
It's one of each.
Yeah, so you can get a few of each.
Yeah, get a couple
We'll
of each.
do 5 stickers.
That way
but we'll,
you can-
we'll mix it up.
That way you can go put it on random things.
There you go.
But
You commit the crime.
if you can't do those other things, which I understand, just do us a solid. Go on YouTube, go on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating. That
Yes.
really helps push us through the algorithm a little bit
It
and
does.
get us out of the weeds a little bit from
does.
all of these other podcasts that exist.
Yep.
And on YouTube, just hit subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, something. Just
Yep. Yeah.
just show you boys some love. We do put a little bit of effort into this every week, so it'd be cool if you're watching to just click that subscribe button.
And if you're listening to this for the first time and you trying to figure out who we are, go to our social medias and hit the subscribe button on it. We do share shorts that
Yeah.
we'll take a little 1-minute high points from the shows and put them on there. So you can get your shrouded realities and many little nuggets.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Your nuggets.
You
Right
don't-
in nuggets.
You get shrouded right in your nuggets.
All right, let's get back into
Suck
it.
back in.
Suck it back in. Where did old Vernon go? Who did he turn into once he took control?
So Vernon took back control of the compound and ended up in Israel. He was married to a woman in this congregation at this point. They went to Israel.
Was she of age or was she a youngin' too?
Everything I saw didn't say, but to him, does it really matter?
Yeah. I do have a stat for you later. I'll just fucking shoot it. He ended up with 13 children by 7 different wives.
Modern day Elon Musk, right?
Player.
Yeah, that seems to be another trend in the cult world.
It does,
except for one cult we talked about, the Heaven's Gate
old
people.
Scrody?
Old Scrody McToady. But almost all cults, like, there's some sex involved. Like,
Heaven's Gate's the only one that I know
tons
of.
of love and coitus.
It's the only one that I know of where it wasn't just sex fueled.
Yeah.
But he also wouldn't allow the men to have sex with their wives. He would.
Who's he? Vernon or?
Vernon.
Yeah.
We're still on Vernon right now.
Okay.
I'm about to get into that. So he
Can you
goes
imagine that? Like,
yeah, could you imagine being married to your wife and it's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He told me I couldn't.
She comes home and you're like, I'm not even going to ask.
Just tell me you got a headache. Let's go.
Yep.
But so he goes to Israel. While he's in Israel, he has the realization to himself that he is the reincarnated King Cyrus of Persia.
That's a healthy thought.
Yes. And he has been tasked with revealing the 7 seals of Revelation.
Yep.
Which is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Super weird.
Why would you go to Israel and it's like, oh, I'm King Cyrus of Persia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Koresh is the Hebrew version of the word Cyrus.
Yes.
So that's where that comes from. And David being from the biblical King David.
Yes.
So he took that name.
That's scary. People trust their thoughts that much.
The self-awareness.
Do you have these kind of thoughts, Connor?
Not like that. More like
driving off a bridge. But I know that's not me. That's not me.
No. But this guy, he trusts his thoughts enough to go, you know what? That
is me.
That is me. I feel it deep in my loins that I am King Cyrus of Persia.
And now I'm hungry.
That's one of those thoughts that I've never even thought, like, I am the king of anything at all.
Yeah.
Or I'm anything from the Bible at all.
And see, it is a stark contrast from how he presented himself to people. Because one of the things that he would do is he would come in and say, I'm weak. I am, the chief of all sinners. And I have, he would present himself humbly to all these people. And that's what drew people to him so much, is he was that humble character but you could relate to him because he had long hair and he played guitar really good.
And he also had a following.
So you just kind of got absorbed into what he was doing a little bit, I think.
Yeah. I watched an interview from David Thibodeau. He was one of the survivors. Old Thibodeau. He's one of the ones he was literally in the building, and he was one of like 5 or 6 people that is able to escape the burning building to get out. But he kind of told his story about how he got found, and he said they were in L.A. and he was in a music shop shopping for guitar sticks. He was in a band, and
did you just say guitar sticks?
It's been a long weekend.
What is a guitar stick?
What kind of instrument are you playing?
You take the stick and you go,
a good drum
like this.
He was shopping for guitar sticks.
He was shopping for drumsticks.
It's a good drum.
Koresh was shopping for guitars. Thibodeau was shopping for drumsticks. There we go.
There it
Gotcha.
is.
Tie the two together.
Tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied. Anyway, he's in there shopping for guitar sticks. Son of a... Drumsticks.
That seemed like that was on purpose. It was not on purpose.
Really
don't touch my drumsticks.
Yeah, I'm just going to quit talking. You finish the show.
Guitar sticks.
Anyway.
He was looking for guitar sticks. It could be a violin.
Yeah. So
Maybe
anyway,
he was playing a violin.
He was approached by one of Koresh's followers, and he said, "Hey, David Koresh here wants you to be in his band. What do you think?" And he was super impressed by him and got him to a Bible study, and then it was downhill from there. He got sucked into the cult after that and moved into the compound, and he's got a pretty good story.
I'm just trying to learn a Metallica song, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, where'd you find those sweet guitar sticks?
Anyway, so
I want to get back to this King of Cyrus thing. Like,
I think we glossed over that a little bit, and that is a
because that changes
point.
your
really
that changes everything
It does.
when you look at yourself as
shift.
a
That's a big shift right there.
when you declare yourself a king,
And was
a
that
reincarnated king.
was he was a key point in Revelations, wasn't he?
I don't know anything about King Cyrus of Persia. I'm assuming that it is somewhere in there. Maybe I should look that up.
Kind of sounds like a
y'all
nobody.
keep talking.
Kind of sounds like a nobody to me.
Yeah. But that was one of the differentiators between the Branch Davidians and the Seventh-day Adventists is they were believed in the, I mean, we all believe, but the seven seals in Revelations was a very, very big part of their religion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he tried to get his, that's where he got everything. He was trying to interpret the seven seals of the Revelation.
He was dabbling with the seventh day and the Branch Davidians, but he went full bore with the students of the seven seals.
That's right. Yeah. And then once he got his following built up, they took over the compound. They started living in the compound. That's when he started dabbling in the firearm sales and bringing all that in, and that's what ultimately got him in trouble. So, the ending. But
I don't see that Cyrus was is specifically noted in Revelation at all.
Okay.
He helped liberate the Jewish people from the Babylonians in captivity.
Gotcha.
So he was looked at pretty greatly by the Jews. So that would be a
connection there.
That's his deal.
Okay.
Yeah. And he somehow concocted that Cyrus was going to come back in the end times. Is kind of how I would perceive that he was talking about that.
Okay.
It's scary. Like, how do you know when you talk to somebody when they're like off the deep end like that? If they are so coercive in their talk.
Oh yeah.
That's something that I've really tried to understand with us looking into cults is putting myself kind of in that spot and not having this thought in my head of, oh, I could see through that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because,
could you? I don't know.
Could you? Because you look at a lot of these cults, not just this one. I don't really know the group of people that were in this for the most part, but you look at a lot of these cults and they are prominent people are in this cult. Doctors, lawyers, people that are considered to be incredibly smart people.
As with other cults we've
that's
studied.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about this cult specifically, but I know you look at Jonestown, you look at Heaven's Gate, you look at some of those. These were not like schmucks of
Bunch
people.
of dummies,
These were people that were college educated, which doesn't mean anything to me today. But it did. I mean, at that time, it probably carried a little more weight than what it does now.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me, just the mental gymnastics of, could I see through it?
Yeah.
And
I watched a documentary, I think it was last night, watched a documentary on Netflix about this, and it was a 3-parter. It was a good watch. I liked it. But they had some of the survivors, a couple of people that got out that was released during negotiations of the siege. But they bought in. Like, they had one chick on there, and she was talking about all the different stuff, and she was, to this day, even though it all fell apart, she still was like she was defending it.
You know that compound is still an operating thing today.
Yeah, they're still about it.
That's why I was saying, like, they close on whatever day it was, Monday or Tuesday or Saturday, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's because people still live there. People are still in that compound.
Yep.
No, it's pretty well gated and covered up now. But
I wonder if that lady they interviewed was still in it. She acted like she was still in it.
Yeah.
She was.
Well, she has the opportunity to be still in it.
Yeah, she was defending it pretty hard.
That shows you the David Koresh's ability.
It does.
Yeah. He was. They said he was super, super persuasive. One of the things that he would do like just marathon session Bible studies. Like they would just up till 1 o'clock in the morning, just Bible studying. And she said all the ladies would hang around and stay till the end because they wanted to be chosen to be taken by him to go have fun.
So they wanted to hang out.
Yeah, they wanted to hang out in his bedroom.
They wanted to get the old lowest treatment.
Yeah, and she described one of her treatments, and she, man, it's hard to describe because she thought she was laying with God. It was so spiritual for her, and
that just goes to show how much the mind can deceive.
Yes,
that in itself shows how easily your mind can be deceived.
That's
If you can think that I'm in the
This-
presence of a God.
When it's really just the sweaty,
While he's
140-pound man.
doing his
hadn't showered
deed.
in a week.
Yeah.
And she I was sitting with my wife watching it, and we were like, ugh, and he goes, she goes, and I just knew that he wasn't doing that for himself. He was doing it for me.
No,
And me and her looked at each other like, what in the world?
no,
What kind of
no.
sick judo mind tricks is he doing? on this?
Right.
But at the same time, did he believe that he was doing this for them? Because if this dude is
Nah.
if this dude's convinced himself that he's the King Cyrus of Persia,
You're pulling a different lady every night.
well,
You think
I
you
mean-
gotta got the first few, and he's like, I gotta keep going.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying this dude's clearly got some kind of disconnect from reality.
He's got Riz.
Ah,
He's
there it
got
is.
some
Riz.
Riz.
Bringing back the brain
He's,
rot.
he's the Rizzler.
The Rizzler. Sounds like a McDonald's character.
He'll steal your.
The
Golly.
Rizzler.
What do you-
The Rizzler's going to come steal your hamburger and your lady.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think of it? Like a picture of a face shot of him? What's the first thought you think of?
Creep.
Creep.
Yeah.
Like if you saw him in a store, you walk by him.
This
You're
guy
like,
right here?
Yeah,
That guy right there.
yeah,
I feel like he wears a lot of denim.
Yeah.
very tight.
He had some sweet hair. I seen some mullets. He was rocking
Yeah.
some decent mullets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta give him
Well, I mean, time frame.
rocking the
80s,
Dahmers.
90s, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
The Dahmers. Those
It was back in the day. Billy
wire
Ray
rim
Cyrus.
glasses.
Oh,
Yeah,
Billy Ray
my
Cyrus.
achy
Yeah.
breaky.
Billy Cyrus.
Cyrus?
Billy Ray
Oh.
Cyrus.
You think
He's
Billy
got
Ray's?
He's got a mullet like Billy Ray Cyrus.
And he was a musician
He
like
was a
Billy Ray
musi-
Cyrus?
He was a musician. He went to Israel. I'm telling you, this
Israel
is real.
Riz.
David Koresh is Billy Ray Cyrus.
David
Is-
Koresh is
And Myra,
Cyrus of Persia and Billy Ray Cyrus. in
Miley
one.
Cyrus is the offshoot
Yes.
of. Stop. We got to stop. We're going to get sued.
This is the most
I wish-
schizophrenic
I
conversation.
wish there was a
Yeah.
way that you could put the alien's hair on me right now.
Yeah.
And you
What's that meme? I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, but and you
And
put
then
these
you
two
just put
beside.
this
You put these two side by side.
Billy Ray Cyrus and David
I'm telling
Koresh
you.
side by side.
His achy breaky heart.
That's right. That's what he would sing to his ladies.
Yeah. Do you think he did like a guitar solo after that he got done with business? Like sang to him.
Did you see his guitar?
Uh-uh.
It's got one of them was a electric guitar, but it had a painted angel with. She was a naked angel.
Of course it
Yeah.
was.
Of course.
Yeah, of course it was.
You think Koresh was hitting that pentatonic scale hard?
Oh yeah, he was riding that pentatonic,
Yeah.
man.
Back to the root, baby.
Getting them blues notes.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wish I did.
Yeah.
John Mayer would be jealous.
Yeah. He's John Slayer, you know what I'm saying?
John Slayer. Wait,
Mm.
John Mayer.
Stop.
And
You're going too far. You're going too far. So we got any more Koresh nuggets of knowledge before we move on to the siege?
I think we've hit
Yeah.
the deep gritty of Mr. Koresh.
And the Branch Davidian
Yeah.
cult.
We didn't actually talk about how he changed his name, did we?
Did he just change it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was during the Israel thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we discussed that. So yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I guess we need to set the stage for next week. He part of his apocalyptic teachings, and this was what made him a little bit different from the Seventh Adventist, was that he thought he wanted to arm himself to fight back against the powers that be that were inevitably going to take over. Seventh-day Adventists, they're more pacifists. They don't really care about fighting, but his belief was, we're going to get ready, we're going to blow some heads off, and
And did his prophecy somewhat come true in that, because that is kind of what happened?
and that's
Was it what is it called? A forced prediction or forced prophecy?
Yeah.
okay.
A forced
Or
conclusion.
it's a self crap, there's a word for it.
It was a
Self-induced
forced
prophecy or whatever.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
There it
There it
is.
Yeah.
There it is. Self-fulfilling
I
prophecy.
can't say drumsticks, but I can say self-fulfilling prophecy.
Dude, we actually need to make some guitar sticks.
Yeah.
We're gonna start
Just
selling those.
a pick-shaped stick.
Let
they,
me tell you, if this doesn't work out, we're making guitar sticks.
Yep.
That's
But
what's gonna.
part of the ways they tried to raise money to keep the compound going, pay the bills, they started buying and selling weapons.
Yeah.
Easy to do in Texas. That's kind of a culture there. So they were buying weapons, and where they started to get in trouble was they started buying the weapons, modifying them, and then selling them for extra money.
Culture. Cult.
Here it
They're
is.
right.
Yes,
Tied it together.
that's right.
So, yeah, we'll stop there because can't go much further without talking about what happened on February 28th, 1993. So
That's right.
that'll be next week's episode. Next week's episode ties heavily into what we talked about last week, which was Ruby Ridge and the siege there. So we'll touch bases there, and then from there it jumps to another event that happened a couple years later. We'll hit it on a future episode.
We're kind of in the series right here.
Series. We
We're
do
talking
that.
about
We're
Series, Cyrus.
Series. Billy Ray Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Achy breaky heart. There it is.
There are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences.
None.
So appreciate you listening. We really do appreciate it. Means a lot to us. Like and subscribe, all the stuff.
Get your merch, get your stickers.
Check out our website, shroudedrealities.com. For Stephen, Connor, Joey, for myself, and Ruby the podcast dog. Thanks for listening.